I have to heap it to really feel the buzz. Head floaty, like feeling that buzz. Head buzz, you know that buzz. JR reviews, head floaty, like feeling that buzz. You know the pre-workout head review, buzz, you know that buzz. JR reviews, back into the pre-workout review. Today we're talking about Mob Boss supplements, Al Capone. What in the world do we have here? I'll put that there for a second. And I will flash this on the screen because this being an illicit pre-workout, we're not going to dive deep into the label. But again, I love the fact that I keep on getting the feedback of most people care more so about the experience than actually breaking down each individual ingredient, because I 100% agree with that. Again, this was obtained mostly on the, I won't say the funny fact, but it's almost like on the just the obscurity of it, like the American Blue Collar one that I reviewed. I got that almost, you know, like their novelty pre-workouts, I would call them, just because you look at the label on the American Blue Collar and you're like, there's no way it has the super blah 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 blend. It has all three of the illicits in it. You know, these big bold claims. It's too good to be true. So got that, you know, based on that. Like I always reference, like that unicorn farts on eBay, stuff like that. And this one, just based on the name alone, and then you look at it and it shows to have some yum-yums in it. So you're like, well, I mean, what if it does hit? So let's start at the top with this thing. Let's start with the flavor. This is a gaudy grape flavor. Again, another famous Mob Boss. And it actually tastes really good, which is also another, I won't say red flag, but usually, you know, if an illicit tastes good, we're always like, it probably isn't going to hit. So the taste is actually really good. And also the label on it, you know, doesn't look like a bathtub pre. I mean, the label looks actually really good, well made, and it has an expiration date and a batch number associated with it. So everything's like kind of lining up to say, okay, maybe this thing is, you know, a decent hitter. But let's flash the label up on the screen now. So you'll see that one of the reasons why this thing really intrigued me is it has basically everything in it. It's got decent, you know, it's not crazy high pumps, you know, as far as like the dosages, but it's got, you know, if you watch my channel, you know, I love the tri-blend caffeine. It's got that in it. It's got focus nodes in it, and it's got a little bit of thermogenics there at the end. So on paper, you know, like I said, on paper there, it's got everything in it that I love in a pre-workout. So, I mean, how does it come together? So not really knowing what this is going to do, but having the tri-blend caffeine in it, I took it, you know, once I really got to the gym and started warming up on treadmill. I know I was going to do treadmill for 30 minutes. So I took it literally as I was sipping it on the way to the gym, and I finished it, you know, literally walking about the first minute on the treadmill. So I would say within 15 to 20 minutes, I could feel it brewing up in me. And that was I would say obviously probably like the caffeine, you know, citrate, you know, coming in quickly. Like, and it came in quickly. And beta tingles were there, but they were really faint. They were more so like on the way to the gym, like, you know, the first like 5 minutes of ingesting, like you kind of just feel like this tingling sensation running over your whole body. So I was like, okay, well, the betas are like a 5 or 6 out of 10. Like they're there, they're apparent, but they're not anything crazy. But then the longer I started walking on the treadmill, like the 20-minute mark, 25-minute mark, like this wave of emotions came over me, like to the point like where I was texting my family members, telling them I love them. I was, you know, talking to my dad. I was texting everybody. Like I was super just like emotional, but like in a happy emotional way. And I was like, daggone, like this is crazy. It's only been, look at my watch, it's only been like 20 minutes. Like this stuff's kicking in fast, because, you know, usually illicits, you know, for me, it takes a good 40, 45 minutes, sometimes an hour for that stuff to really brew up and for it to come in. So I was like, okay, maybe we got something here. So I kept on walking, got off the treadmill 30 minutes, and I was ready to go. It was leg day. I went over, set the squat rack up, for my height, my position, everything. And I was like, I couldn't like get it done fast enough. I was like, I want to lift. So I started lifting. Immediately about the 30-minute mark, whenever I went over to the squat rack, this also wave of thermogenic came over me. I started pouring, and I mean pouring the sweat. Like I was wearing a big, oversized shirt, pump cover, but I mean even that, like the armpits, are real baggy on it, but you could see it all down my side, like around my neck and my upper back. Like I was just sweating profusely. I was like, "Dang, like this stuff is really kicking in." And then it was almost like once I started working out, this other wave came over me to where like 20 minutes ago, I was wanting to talk to everybody and be super social and be super happy. I was still that way, but it was like on my terms, meaning like there was somebody there that was wanting me to spot them on bench. And it was like the whole time I was like helping, and then like I was wanting to run back, help and run back. And also like, people, when they were talking to me, like I was wanting to talk, but as you were talking, like I was kind of like walking away too, because I was like so dialed in, like wanting to go, like wanting to lift something. And it was that way for like an hour in. It's like, it's crazy. Like, the citrate kicked in quickly. I would say it's like the anhydrous carried me for like an hour. And then the caffeine malate, kicked in and just rode the rest of the wave out. Like it's one of the only times I feel like I've truly felt like it was almost like all three had different stages to them. Like usually it's like, you kind of get this burst of energy and you just kind of ride it out. It was almost like this. It was like citrate, anhydrous, malate. Like it's almost like you could feel each of them kicking in at a specific time. It was crazy feeling. But that mentality was there. I was at the gym for right at 3 hours. So I did 30 minutes cardio. I lifted for right at probably an hour and 45. And then I finished up at in the sauna. And the whole time, like that mentality was there, like as I was lifting. So what I noticed was, it wasn't like a crazy, like aggressive, like mental feeling like on the lift. Like I didn't want to like kill the weights. I noticed like I was doing like pendulum squats and leg press. Like I was doing everything turned into tempo. Like even I was doing box squats, like everything turned into like I started box squats doing tempos. When I went over to leg press, like I wasn't even like honestly like meaning to do this, but I noticed myself doing it. As I was coming down, like I was counting everything. Like it just got me insanely locked in. Like I remember one time, like I was staring at the wall and I was just like literally like I couldn't hear anything. I couldn't see anything else. Like on my peripheral, like I was just locked in. And then other times I just had my eyes closed and I was just counting like 1, 2, 3. Had no idea what music was playing while I was doing that. But in between sets, I was rocking out. Like everything was sounding better. Like it was awesome. Like it was a really, really, really good experience. And it carried me throughout my entire workout. I didn't want to stop lifting. That's why I lifted for so long. And then while I was sitting in the sauna, one of my buddies, he came and got in and we talked, like I said, for like 35, 40 minutes. And I was just a chatterbox the entire time after that. And when I got home, I was the same way. So it was like, as I was lifting, I was sociable, but it was on my terms. I didn't want you talking to me while I was lifting. Let me finish, and then I'll come talk to you. And I'm not saying it like in a jerk way or like I was a prick to everybody, but it's almost like I had to be lifting. I had to exert this energy. I had to exert this sense of urgency. Whereas, once I finished, it's like, okay, now what do you want to talk about? But I would give them like 30 seconds to say what they needed to say, and then I was off again. And to the point where there was another boy came over to me, and he's like, I was finishing up, I was doing core. So I was doing like leg raises. And he's like, what are you training for, man? And I was like, longevity. Like nothing really at this moment in time. I'm not trying to hit PRs or anything. I'm not trying to, do anything crazy. And he just started talking to me about just lifestyle, diets and stuff like that. And I was getting to the point like where I was almost like physically shaking because he was talking so long and taking up so much of my time that I was getting like, I wasn't getting agitated. I was getting agitated. I'm not gonna lie, but I wasn't rude to him where I cut him off. And finally, I was like, dude, I have to go. I'm sorry. And that's when I was getting in the sauna because I had to be by myself to myself. So again, I wouldn't, when I flash the label up on the screen, you'll see, it claims, the illicits. I'm not saying that's exactly what's in here. I would say it's very well sourced, maybe like something that we're seeing like coming out of UK, like, the really good like Jugglins or something is what I would think maybe it's more to. But again, it definitely has something in this. Like it's not just your run of the mill eBay crappy pre-workout. So wherever they're sourcing this from, they've done a good job with it. And now this thing's becoming really hard to get and it's really obscure. So the only places I'm really seeing it is available, on some European websites, and I'll link in the description, ones I've seen it. But again, it's more so on the novelty factor is why I picked it up. And I'm actually glad I did because this thing blew my mind. I was not expecting it to be really anything at all, or have any kind of effect on me, but it definitely did. So if you can get your hands on this, I highly recommend it. Even if you get a good size sample of it. I mean, just because, again, who knows whenever this thing will ever be available again, or if they're ever going to redo it, but it'd be one to say that you tried and one to, have a good experience on, because again, to me, this was a great squat day, high stem Saturday pre. Like that's exactly how I would use this thing. It's not one that I would take, for like a nighttime pre, because I mean, this thing had me wired for hours. I mean, I'm talking like I took this thing at around 2:00 and my head was still spinning at 8:00. So I mean, 6 hours, this thing had my head spinning to a point like where I knew it was getting decently close to bedtime. And I took L-theanine to help try to, mild the effects down a little bit. It didn't affect my sleep at all, which is good, but like I said, it had me spinning for hours upon hours upon hours. So I'd say taste, 8 out of 10. Pumps were decent on it. I had a good mild pump with it, so I'd say they're probably like a 5 out of 10. I would definitely stack a hard-hitting pump formula with this now, now that I know that, because you're going to get the best of every world. The amount of L-citrulline in it, I didn't expect to get the crazy pump off of it though. But dialed in focus, I would say 8.5 out of 10 all day long, because I mean, whatever I was doing, I was locked in. And also to the point like where I was feeling great. Like I had my shirt off and everything. Like I was sweating so bad. I was like, I gotta let these titties breathe, because I was sweating so bad, but I didn't care. It's like one of those things where I felt really good, and felt good about myself, so I didn't care to have my shirt off, and that's not typically me at all. So that's why I say I would give that 8 out of 10 all day long. And sense of urgency, same thing, 8.5 out of 10, because I was needing to lift. I had to lift. So all in all, another good A-tier pre-workout. So like I said, if you can get your hands on it, check it out. Mob Boss Al Capone.